just a second here. This is a totally impromptu type of video. Get my headset on, get all situated here. All right. Welcome to another episode of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. This is actually the Daily Walk edition, but as you can see, I'm not outside walking because it's raining here in Northern California. We finally got some rain coming back in, and it's washing away all of that smoke and unhealthy air that was created from a fire that happened about 150 miles north or so of the San Francisco Bay Area, at least the San Francisco Bay Area, or part of the San Francisco Bay Area where I live. For those people that are in the North Bay, they're a lot closer to the fire. But anyway, so obviously I am here in my brand new, newly redone video studio, giving you all a sneak peek here today. A lot of the equipment that I have in here I've used in the past, but I recently ordered some new things, and this is where I'm going to be doing the majority of my live streams. And some other, videos where I'll be responding to emails from people, etc. Right now, I'm using my iPhone to record this because I'm still setting up my laptop. I got a new hard drive, and I'm transferring files over right now, so I'm not able to use any equipment on my computer. So I'm using the iPhone for right now to record this. Hopefully, it's looking pretty good. I did some tests before I started recording, and it looked decent. So hopefully, you can see me pretty well and hear me pretty well. Through the usual headset and setup that I use when I'm out on the field doing the daily walks from the park. So anyway, one more thing. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, or happy Thanksgiving Eve. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and I plan on doing a very special video tomorrow regarding Thanksgiving and regarding those of you that have been through a recent breakup or divorce, and you're spending your first holiday season away from, that person that you used to be in a relationship with or married to, and you may be feeling that separation anxiety, or you may be wishing that things could be different. And the holidays are a tough time, for people that are going through breakups. I know I've been going through one myself. And I've been doing the absolute best I can to keep my mind off of things, and it's been working quite well. But yeah, I do get those moments, and I'm sure you get them as well. So tomorrow I'm going to do a video on that and, share with you folks, how to, best get through the holiday season. And I'm also going to be discussing that, in many cases, what I've seen in the past through other friends and myself, that a lot of times, an ex might reach out to you during the holiday season because they start to miss you, and they may want to start trying to rekindle things. The holidays kind of sparks up a bunch of emotions that typically don't happen during the normal part of the year, at least in my opinion. It's a season of giving. It's a season of forgiveness. Thanksgiving, you're very thankful for what you've got. At least I hope you are. And that just triggers a lot of unexpected emotions. So stay tuned for that video tomorrow. Also on Friday, which is Black Friday here in the U.S., one of the busiest shopping days, of the year. I'm going to be doing an interview with Charles F. Gray regarding what's happened to me since I shut down my YouTube channel. My post-YouTube interview is coming up on Friday, and I'll be recording it here from this studio, but with better equipment. I do have a better camera. I do have a Canon Vixia HRF 700, and I also have a Logitech 1080p webcam that I use for my live streams or recording, streaming video when I'm being interviewed by somebody that's not right next to me over the internet. So anyway, enough of that. Let's get to the topic of today's Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, episode number 18. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It's probably not going to be as long as the ones in the park because, I don't know, when I'm at the park, I just feel like continuing to walk and talk and walk and talk. And I don't really like sitting around all day, but Again, don't have much of a choice today because I'm actually in my home studio here and because it's raining outside. So the topic today is more and more men are withdrawing from women and going MGTOW, which is men going their own way, the men going their own way group. I've been talking a lot about them lately. I'm also going to be sharing more of my thoughts regarding the recent CNN show that was discussing, feminism. I actually was able to see the entire show. At the beginning of the show, there were a couple of prominent people that I met on YouTube. There were a couple of people that were interviewed on that show by Lisa Ling, who hosts it, that are pretty prominent on YouTube within the MGTOW community, Jerry Lou and Big John. So they were on during the first 5 to 7 minutes or so, and then after that, it was just really interesting. Lisa Ling went on location and was talking to a lot of men that were married and got divorced, or they were in a relationship and their ex-girlfriend or girlfriend left them, and the women went after the men for full custody of their kids. And so I'm going to discuss more about that show, and also I'm going to be sharing a link to that show below here in the description section of this Facebook video or wherever you see it. So let's talk about, why. First of all, I've been talking more and more about MGTOW lately. Do I consider myself MGTOW? No, I do not consider myself MGTOW, but I probably should. I probably should become MGTOW. I've thought about it more and more lately because what I've been seeing lately on YouTube and other platforms regarding what men have been going through, it's been absolutely preposterous. And these are actually really good, decent, wholesome men that, really are open to having a real, genuine relationship, with a woman. But because, women are much different nowadays because of the women's movement, like I've been talking a lot about lately, and modern day feminism, and because of, the change in divorce laws and child support laws and all that stuff that are totally favoring women, it's just made it much more difficult for men to connect with women and to have that long-lasting relationship that men really want. Women say they want it too, but it's kind of funny when you hang out with some of these women. They appear to be, decent, first, second date. And then as you get to know them, their true colors come out and they're just completely different. And they start behaving in ways that are preposterous. So, why do I feel more and more men are going, MGTOW? Meaning that they're withdrawing from women either completely or partially. When I say partially, many of these men still love the company of a woman. They enjoy intimacy, sex, etc. So, some of these men will just go hang out with these women, with women that they meet, which is what I'm trying to say, and just, have a friends with benefits situation, and not allow any emotions to get involved. Because the funny thing is that I think more and more men are realizing that women are handling relationships much more differently nowadays, especially if they're out to get something. If they're after a man's resources, what they will do, first of all, is they will try to get the man to emotionally invest. Because a lot of women know once a man invests into a woman emotionally, his emotions are permanent. And that's the difference between men and women. Men's emotions are permanent. which is why it's much harder for us to let go of our emotions to attach to a woman emotionally in that way. The reason why it's hard for us to attach to a woman in that way, uh, again, like I said, because our emotions are permanent. Once we give them, they're there for good. Is because we know women's emotions are not permanent. Women's emotions are in the current moment. Women's emotions are based on how they're presently feeling, based on how either you're making them feel or how something else outside of you is making them feel. So a woman's emotions is gonna, women's emotions are gonna just fluctuate all day, every day, and because women's emotions are so erratic at a normal level, which is the way that a higher power, in my opinion, made women to be. It's much more difficult for men to trust women because even a woman that thinks she wants something may wake up on the wrong side of the bed one morning and say, I want nothing to do with you anymore for no reason. And then they abandon you, and then you're like all stuck wondering what the fuck happened. You still have the emotional attachment. And then you, as a man, start feeling hurt. You start feeling depressed. You start feeling large amounts of separation anxiety, like I've been discussing a lot in my videos lately. Okay, so the risk for men dating nowadays, let alone getting married. The MGTOW, despises marriage. Okay, but let's not even talk about marriage right now. Let's just talk about regular relationships. I've seen stories out there. I've actually been following a lot of new MGTOW guys out there lately. I've been kind of curious. I've been kind of checking it out on YouTube. And I'm just hearing these stories with some guys out there saying that, okay, this was the last straw. This date was the last straw before I went MGTOW. Like, guys are still out there putting themselves out there trying to relate with and connect with the modern day woman, because they're thinking that there has to be some decent women still left out there, which I honestly feel there are some decent women left out there, but they are far and few between. The majority of women nowadays, in my opinion, have been indoctrinated into a culture of modern day feminism to the point of where these women feel they are entitled to special privileges. And even if they don't feel that way, they're getting special privileges from the court system. They're getting special privileges in the workforce. Like I've mentioned before, if a man and a woman are both applying for the same job or applying for the same promotion within a company, and then the man gets the job because he's more qualified than the woman, all the woman has to do is go to HR, human resources, and say, hey, you know what, I didn't get this job because he's a man and I'm a woman. And because of modern day feminism and the women's movement and how strong it is, HR automatically takes that seriously. And in many cases, to appease the woman from making a big stink about it, because remember, women's emotions, can be erratic and they fluctuate all day, every day. They want to appease her so she doesn't go, all over the company or start talking badly about the company that they have the discriminatory hiring practices. So what does the company do? They will find a position for the woman, or they'll give her a slight pay increase to just keep her mouth shut. And I've heard these stories happening. Okay, does this happen for men? No. So why are we doing this for women and not doing it for men? Or why are we just not telling women, at an HR level, when they go and they complain that they didn't get the promotion because they're a woman and the person that got the promotion was a man? Why don't we sit there and tell them, no, you didn't get the promotion because you just were less qualified for the job? Why won't HR, why won't human resources just come out and say that? Because they know the power women have nowadays. And in many cases, most HR representatives I've worked with in the past when I was in the corporate world are women, so they're on the woman's side. So it's almost like women get this special treatment, and there really is nothing that us men can do about it. So what happens to us? We get frustrated. We're like, okay, all we're trying to do is live a normal life as a man nowadays. All we're trying to do is either go to work if we work a day job, if we're an entrepreneur, do our work, And then, during our spare time, if we find a nice, decent lady to connect with, hang out with, have a life with, that's all we want. Okay? But that's not what's happening nowadays. That's not what's happening nowadays. The system has been created in such a way that totally favors women because in the past, apparently, I guess women had it so bad that, nowadays society wants to make it extremely apparent that women, have, equal rights. They have equal say. They have, equal, pay for equal work, etc. It seems like we have to go above and beyond to continuously show that, we're adhering to, women's new rights that they got, when the Civil Rights Act was passed, I believe 63 or 64, around there. Okay? So you have a lot of men out there that are very frustrated with what's going on regarding this. And a lot of men have tried to, talk about it. The men's rights activists and the men's rights movement tried to, excuse me, I had a cough a second. Tried to, let me grab my my lozenge here, which I typically will always put in my mouth before I do a video. It helps keep my throat nice and clear. Men have tried to express their feelings regarding the fact that we feel that we're kind of getting shafted, and we feel our rights are being violated. But what's happened every time we try to do it, we get silenced. No one wants to hear it. And I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. And I'm going to be talking about this more and more throughout my videos because I believe in relationships. I believe in true love. I do believe in marriage, but like I was mentioning in my video yesterday, it makes me wonder if it's even worth getting married nowadays, even if I believe in marriage. Yes, I do believe in marriage, and I'd love to find a great woman to get married to and have a life with. But the more and more I see what's happening nowadays to men, and it's becoming more and more apparent because more and more men are speaking out. More and more men are speaking out on YouTube and other platforms. It's becoming more of a mainstream thing. And I think if we continue, I think, guys, and no disrespect to women, I love women. Women, feminism affects you too. To the good women out there, I love you and respect all of you. Okay, but to the good women out there, feminism, especially radical feminism, is affecting you as well. So the women out there that want the special privileges and that are seeking special privileges and are getting them are not only affecting the modern day man, they're affecting all the other women that are left out there, the few women that are left out there that do things the right way, that don't request special privileges, that don't take advantage of the women's movement, such as, the women that do. Okay, so it affects the good women and it affects all men. Okay, so that's just the honest truth about that there. So, yeah, I got to tell you, I do, like I said, I do believe in relationships. And I love bonding and connecting with a woman. But even if you're with a woman nowadays and it appears to be genuine and it feels great, that could change at any moment because of the way the world is. It can change, like I mentioned, because women have been liberated. Women are making their own money. They have their own apartment or house. They have their own cars. They don't need a man to survive anymore. So that makes them more prone to leave at any given moment. And men know that. So it's very risky to even date nowadays because if you start to date, even if you want to date a woman casually, after a couple, 2-3 months, the woman's going to try to get you to commit to her. And if you don't commit to her, then, and let your emotions go and become emotionally invested, which is what they want, then they're going to leave you, right? Okay? But then if you do commit to her and let your emotions go and become emotionally involved, once a woman knows she has, a hold on you emotionally, if she's not a good woman, she can take advantage of that, extract your resources, and then leave you not only with fewer or no resources left. After she takes all your resources, she's going to leave you with the biggest heartache. She's going to leave you, feeling depressed, uh, large levels of separation anxiety, um, and it's just going to suck. And that's what happens. I'm stating the facts. I'm just speaking the truth. That's why I feel a lot of men are withdrawing, and these are good men. Like, look, I know I discussed that I was never going to talk about MGTOW again, and that I left the community. Yes, I have left the community. I'm not a part of MGTOW. I don't consider myself MGTOW, but I do. The majority of the guys that speak out about these issues regarding modern day feminism are a part of the MGTOW community. So that's the only information that I have to go on. Okay. But I do understand where they're coming from, and I do believe in the MGTOW principles for the most part. I don't agree with everything that they do, but I do agree with most of, the information they put out there. So that's why I've been referencing, a lot of things to MGTOW lately. Again, it's because these guys are speaking out, and it's pretty much one of the only forums out there for men that's been consistent in trying to get men information about what's really happening in the modern world that's not being discussed in the mainstream media, that's not being discussed in a mainstream way in general. It's trying to be squashed. Okay? They're trying to squash it. Like I said yesterday, the reason is because, women have 85% of the buying power. And in today's day and age, if the mainstream media, if corporations, they upset women are going to stop buying their products, and that's, in my opinion, that's just the way it is. Okay? Is it fair? No, it's definitely not fair. Okay? And once again, to all you good ladies out there, to all of you good, wonderful ladies out there that do not consider yourself a feminist, that are good women, that don't play the system, that work hard and earn everything that you've made happen, okay? And you don't request special privileges. This is affecting you as well. Feminism affects both men and women, and that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, there are good and bad men out there. Okay, let me be real here. We're talking about the bad women that are out there, that are able to take advantage of the system because of feminism today, because of the women's movement, because of women's rights and all that. Okay, but there are also bad men out there. Okay, so let's not take away from the fact that there aren't men out there that are, trying to do similar bad things as some of these women I've been talking about do. But because of the support of women, because of the support of the court system, because of the support, of many large women's groups all over the world, women are able to get away with it much more easier, and they're able to do it at a larger level, and they feel more empowered to do it because there are a ton of other women doing the same thing. Whereas with men, you get a man occasionally here and there that flies off the coop. It's not happening on at as large of a scale as it is with women because of the women's movement and feminism. So enough of that. Let me discuss here this CNN show with Lisa Ling. I believe it's called "This Is Life" with Lisa Ling. And I talked about this last week, where a couple of prominent MGTOW content creators were interviewed regarding their thoughts about modern-day feminism and all that. So I'm not going to talk about that, but I'm going to talk about what happened on the show after the first 5 to 7 minutes when those two MGTOW guys were done speaking. Lisa Ling went on the road, and she started to, interview and talk with men that have either been through a divorce or, were in a relationship and, they got broken up with, and they had kids with, their former lady. And in every one of those cases, the women went after the man not only for a ton of child support, but they went after the man for full custody of their children. And they made up lies about the man being abusive and doing crazy things while in the marriage or in the relationship, so that way the court can award the woman full custody. And it was just amazing to see Lisa Ling's reaction, who hosts the show This Is Life on CNN, who claims to be a feminist and who's also, walked feminist rallies. For her to go out and see this hands-on and see her reaction while it was happening, I could kind of tell she was beginning to realize what these men are going through and that the system is kind of flawed, or it is flawed. Okay? Because Lisa, what Lisa mentioned in the interview with Big John at the beginning of her show, she said, feminism to me is women having equal rights. And Big John was saying, that, I can't remember exactly how Big John said it, but he said that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be about women having equal rights. But it's not just about women having equal rights. It's about women that want special privileges. It's about women that not only want to be equal to men, they want to be above men, and they want men to be beneath them. And I can't understand why women would want that in the first place. I don't understand why women want to be above men. Men have never, ever wanted to be above women. Okay? We've always been the more dominant species because that's what masculine energy is. Masculine energy is dominance. Feminine energy is being submissive. Okay? But nowadays, women want to be more dominant. They want to behave more masculine than feminine. And I can't understand why any woman out there would want to behave like a man. Aren't you happy being who you are in the way the good Lord made you? Now, whether you believe in God or not, I still love you, okay? But I believe in God, and I believe that, God was the creator. And don't you want to embrace and appreciate your natural essence of being a female in the ways the good Lord made you to be? So I don't understand why there are so many women out there that feel the need that they have to be better than men, they have to be above men, and men need to be beneath them. Okay? Like I mentioned yesterday, if we removed all men off the face of this planet, let's say MGTOW just totally blew up and every single man out there became MGTOW and left the planet. Okay? We left the plantation, we stopped supporting women, we stopped doing what we've always done to keep the infrastructures going in our world. Okay? And I'm talking about electricity with our power poles. I'm talking about maintaining gas lines. I'm talking about, doing things that women are capable of doing nowadays, but most women still don't want to do. Let me give you an example. Excuse me. God, I'm still on the tail end of this cold here. It's kind of funny to me that, as I've been watching TV, I'm not saying there aren't female firefighters out there or male firefighters out there. I'm not saying there aren't female firefighters or female police officers. There are. But it's kind of funny to me that, as I've been watching the story unfold with this big fire here in Northern California in Butte County, okay, I didn't see any women on the line there. All I saw were men being interviewed and men being out there fighting. I'm not saying there weren't any women out there. There probably were. But if you look at the ratio of men to women as firefighters or police officers, there's still a larger amount of men than women. But women have the same rights. Women have the same opportunities. Okay? The truth of the matter is, it's just that, most women would prefer to not do, certain jobs like a police officer or a firefighter or climb up a utility pole in the middle of a storm, like I mentioned in the video yesterday, and risk being electrocuted to restore power to their community after the power goes out due to the storm. Okay? Most women, don't want to dig ditches and go underneath and repair gas lines. Most women don't want to do those things. I'm not saying that they don't have the rights to do those things. They do. And I'm not saying that we should deny them if they want those jobs. We should give them those jobs, but most women don't want to do those types of jobs. But they still want to be equal to men. They still want to be equal to men. They still are, and many of them want to be above men. So the reason why I mention all this is because if we just withdrew all men off the face of this planet, would women find a way to survive? Would women find a way to keep our infrastructure going in the same ways that men not only initially built our infrastructure that we have today to make our lives much easier, including for women, okay? But would they be able to keep it going? Would women be able to keep it going? That's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that women are not capable of doing it or shouldn't have the right to do it, but would they want to do it? Or would they actually be capable of doing it? If they're capable of doing it, so be it. Okay? I'm not trying to sit here and say that women shouldn't have the same opportunities. This is not about having an opportunity or having the right to apply for a certain job. What I'm saying is, are women really qualified for these jobs? And even if they are, would they really enjoy doing these jobs? Are these jobs part of something that makes them feel good, or do they just want, to be able to have the rights to get these jobs so they can say, hey, we're equal or better than men? So that's where the confusing factor is at. So, just watching this entire CNN show with Lisa Ling, it broke my heart with all these guys that either have very minimal, what do you call it, visitation rights to their kids, or they've had their parental rights taken away from them, when these guys have done absolutely nothing wrong, because the system favors women. All a woman has to do is say there was abuse in the household, and they will automatically award the kids to the woman until it goes to court, and then the man has to prove, that what the woman said was not true. And a lot of these guys were saying, I thought our country was about being innocent until proven guilty. In today's day and age, when you're dealing with women in a relationship or divorce or a breakup, if it involves child custody and all that, it's guilty until proven innocent for the man. Okay? So men have rights too. Our rights are being violated. We're automatically assumed to be guilty, before we can either be proven guilty or innocent. And that's the problem that men have. And the reason why it's happening is because of the women's movement, which was a good thing for women's rights. Women should have equal rights, should have equal, access to everything and equal opportunities to everything that men have. The problem is the women that play the system and will play the race card or will play the gender card when it comes to, not getting a certain job that they weren't qualified for, and they gave it to a man because a man's more qualified. Okay? That's where the problem stems from right there. So I think this show with Lisa Ling, I think it was a good thing to bring awareness to the mainstream media regarding MGTOW, and they also call it the manosphere. Beyond MGTOW, they call it the manosphere. The manosphere is just a bunch of guys that go out there and share their experiences with women and marriage and all that. So that way, they and we have a forum to where, we can, figure out how to navigate this crazy modern world that we all live in today, because there is no other forum. They won't give us one. Women have a forum to everything. Women have everything. Women have battered shelters all over the country, all over the world. Women have the greatest support system ever. Men, We don't have shit. So what do men do? We create our own shit. And that's why MGTOW was created. That's why the Manosphere was created. That's why these online forums are popping up more and more. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because, look, I'm going to wrap it up with this here, okay? I'm not here to be bitter, about what's going on with women. I'm not here to talk shit about women. I actually love and respect women, but I love and respect women that deserve to be loved and respected. Women that respect themselves and don't play the system and don't expect special privileges. Women that are just normal, decent, down-to-earth women in the way the good Lord made women to be. Okay? So I don't have a problem with women. Okay? I'm here to help both men and women understand what's happening in today's modern world and better navigate it to give you the best shot of accomplishing whatever it is you want to accomplish, and to hopefully help you avoid a lot of the heartaches I've been through. Okay? Because it hasn't been easy. I'll tell you that. It hasn't been easy. Okay? And that's why I do what I do here. Part of my new coaching business is going to also be to fight for men's rights. Okay? But it's not just about men's rights. It's also to help, again, those women out there that are good, wholesome, decent, down-to-earth women that are also being affected by the women out there that are taking advantage of the system. I want to help you folks. And even to the women out there that consider themselves feminists and are taking advantage of the system. Maybe you'll come across these videos and a light may shed upon you to ask yourself, why is my life happening the way it's happening? Why do I not have a man in my life? Why do men not give me a second date? Why won't a man marry me? Why am I single at 40, 45 years old, never been married, no kids, but I want kids? It's because you're a feminist and you act more like a man than a woman, and because of the fact that you have gone out there and sought out special privileges to get ahead, to make yourself independent, rather than doing it the right way by working your way up, working as hard as men have always worked, and creating something without, the special privileges and the helping hand of others. There was one thing I saw, I'm going to wrap up with this, it's kind of pissed me off. In the latest Big John video on his Society for Men's Freedom channel, Big John is an icon in the MGTOW community. If you have not subscribed to his YouTube channel, go to YouTube and search for Society for Men's Freedom. Subscribe to him. He's just incredible, okay? He was mentioning a story in one of his videos. It was one of his videos, not the latest one, but one of his videos where I guess Meghan Markle was speaking at some college in the U.S. or something like that, and she was talking about how, she had to work hard and she, put herself through college and had to, work hard to get grants and stuff like that to have the opportunities that she had in life, okay? And Meghan Markle used to be a star on the show Suits. I love the show Suits. It's still on, but she's no longer on the show anymore. Now she's royalty. We all know that, right? But the truth of the matter is that I think it was her younger sister put a tweet out there and said that our father was the one that paid for Meghan to go to college. Meghan's father was a wealthy, I guess producer, or he did something in Hollywood. I think he was working on a couple of shows, and one was Married with Children, the other was another major show. So he made very good money. He put Meghan through college, but Meghan did not give him any credit for that. Instead, Meghan tried to make herself look better, by saying that she had to work hard to put herself through college, get grants, and do all this stuff, rather than paying a tribute and giving thanks to her father that busted his ass to provide a livelihood for her. I tell you honestly, when I saw that video that Big John put out there regarding Meghan Markle, I lost all respect for her. That's the kind of woman out there you want to avoid. The one that can't even be truthful about how she got to where she got to. A lot of women nowadays are still dependent on men to become independent. And I'm going to save that and talk about that in a different video. I've kind of mentioned that in other videos before, how in my past relationships, it's funny how I've always helped women, get out of a rut they're in, become independent, and then once they become fully independent, then they leave me. I'll share more about that in the future upcoming video. But yeah, I lost all respect for Meghan Markle, when I heard that story right there, because I cannot respect any man or woman out there that doesn't, show their appreciation for people that help them get to where they're at today. Those people out there that, I'll wrap up with this. Those people out there that try to, take credit for themselves, and not pay credit to their family or a significant other that helped them accomplish something. Who knows? Maybe they're narcissistic. Maybe they're just so selfish and so inconsiderate, that they only care about themselves, and I have no respect for people like that. So that's going to do it for this episode today. Yeah, it sucks. It's raining. I'm going to be doing some workouts indoor because I want to keep my six-pack journey going. I have not taken any walks today. I did a little lifting earlier today. But when I'm not able to get out there and do my walks because it's raining, I don't know. It kind of just makes me feel weird because I love being out in the open. But I'll figure out something. With that being said, if there are any topics you'd like for me to discuss, let me know. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. You know how to reach me. You can reach me on Facebook. If you're friends with me, send me a private message. If you want to go to my Facebook business page, Coach Eli, Uncompromising Business and Personal Relationship Coaching, okay, or facebook.com/Life Coach Eli. You can send me a private message there, or just email me at Coach Eli at coacheli@eliasmelas.com. Coach Eli at coach.eliasmelas.com. With that being said, have yourselves a great, great day, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it turned out nice and clear. Again, it's from my iPhone and my normal headset that I do the daily walks on. But down the road, I will be shooting in-person or in-studio videos here to respond to your emails with my more professional camera and microphone system, and doing my live streams with my high-quality 1080p webcam and better equipment. So hopefully the iPhone and this cheap headset I use to do my walks at the park typically worked well for you today. Let me know what your thoughts are if you like this video, okay? With that being said, have a good one, everyone. I'll talk to you all soon. All right, peace out. Let me come around the back side here and stop this.